And welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like getting multiple open houses all from your living room, but with my attorney advice throughout the way. If you have any questions whatsoever, I have people standing by right now to answer them. All you have to do is call that phone number, 407-205-0400. If you want to start that house hunt for your dream home this weekend, you will need a pre-approval letter. Dallas Lehman with You Have Mortgage is also standing by right now. Same phone number, 407-205-0400. Great show for you today. You will not want to miss one single minute, but first it's time for my opening statement. Today is all about home values. First of all, how can solar impact positively the value of your home? But also, I'm going to tell you why your house will not lose value during this COVID-19 pandemic. Let me start with your home's value right now. People are coming to me, Justin, is it going to be like 2008 again? Are we going to have a foreclosure crisis? I don't believe we're going to see anything like we saw in 2008, but let me tell you why. Number one, since 2008, we've had much better lending practices. We're not just lending to anyone with a pulse and a pen. You really have to qualify for a mortgage. Also, now in 2020, the prices are 2006 prices. They were inflated then, but the house prices now are really exactly where they should be. But check this one out as well. I don't think we're going to see any dip in value because I think we're going to have a ton of New Yorkers flooding down to Florida. As it is right now, Florida sees about 350,000 people moving here every single year. The state of New York, 20 million people. Do you know how many New Yorkers want to get out of New York right now? High state income tax, high taxes all the way around. People are flooding to Florida, and I guarantee you a big portion of that 20 million New Yorkers will be down here in Florida, which is going to keep our market very, very strong. Also, interest rates. The interest rates on houses right now remain incredibly strong and make it a great time to purchase a home. And in a nutshell, I think we ran the scum who really created this crisis in 2008 out of our market. I think Florida is set up to dominate real estate-wise. Let's get through this little pandemic, but I can almost guarantee you, you are not going to see a huge dip in your house value over the next few months. Also solar, you know I've gone solar. I believe that me going solar has increased the value of my home. So I'm not seeing any dip in my value. In fact, my home value has increased because I took my electric bill from $500 a month down to $40 a month. And here's what you're going to see in the future, much like Fonzie jumped the shark or Facebook replaced MySpace. I think that soon solar energy is going to replace our reliance on the big electricity companies out there that have just taught us since we were born to pay whatever they say. But here's the difference when it comes to solar. Unless you start going solar now, when people start asking for solar when they buy houses, they're going to start saying, hey, how are the schools? What is the square footage on this house? And does this house have solar? We're going to get to that point soon. But by that time, when you go to install solar, it's going to double in price. Now is the time to go solar. You got to take my word for it. Don't worry about your house value. The pandemic is not going to crush your house value. Now is still a great time to buy a house, and now has never been a better time than right now to purchase solar for your house. And now it's time for real questions. Each week here on You Have Real Estate, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Today on the program, Stephen Bader will be here from IQ Power Solar. Also, Andrea Rickheim will be here, an excellent realtor here in town. And Vivian Lehman from You Have Realty will also join us. It's going to be a great show. Steve, welcome back. Let me start with you. How are you, sir?
Good. Thank you for having me again.
I wanted to follow up on something really quickly about solar, because one of the biggest selling points for me, there were a lot of selling points, but one of the biggest selling points was the tax credit. And legitimately, it saved me $10,000 hard cash when I filed my tax returns this year because I got the credit. I was going to owe the IRS 10 grand, and I literally owed them zero when I filed my taxes, specifically because I went solar. Remind me how that works exactly. How did I save that money?
Well, it's important to remember that the tax credit is a dollar for dollar credit. And it's, right now it's 26%, and you're running out of time because it's dropping to 22% at the end of this year. But it's important to remember that you're paying for it anyway. Right? It's not a rebate. It's not a deduction. You're either, for instance, if you're going to pay $10,000 in taxes, you have an $8,000 tax credit. You're either going to surrender that to the IRS, or they're going to surrender it back to you towards solar. But you're paying for it anyway. It just doesn't make sense. It's never made more sense to go solar than it does right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know how much my electric bill is now. Literally, it was $500. I mean, you should know. You were the one evaluated at the beginning, and now it's $40. I mean, legitimately, I've gone from $500 a month to $40 a month, all while really, Steve, doing my part to help the environment as well.
It's crazy, people don't really think of it, but that's $6,000 a year roughly that you're saving. I mean, people won't go and get a house in the Lake Brantley district because their property tax is too high, but they have a $500 electric bill. It's kind of silly.
I mean, sometimes it just takes a little sit down with a pen and a paper and do a little bit of math. I look at an Excel spreadsheet and it makes perfect sense. And I highly recommend going solar right now. It's a totally free consultation. And when you go solar, it costs you $0. Absolutely nothing out of your pocket to go from $500 a month on your electricity bill to virtually nothing. 407-205-0400. I will connect you with Stephen Bader right now with IQ Power Solar. He can be at your house tomorrow and give you a quote. And again, it's always $0 down. Andrea Rickham, let me welcome you to the program as well. Remax Optima. Correct. How's the real estate world treating you, by the way?
It's actually really good. This pandemic was a little scary. We weren't sure, but I had my best month last month. So April knocked it out of the park for me. So people are out there, they're buying, like you mentioned. House prices are staying the same. We're just low on inventory. So we need some sellers.
Phil, we got to get someone on this program, a realtor who's going to say, oh, it's terrible. There's nothing going on. We've been asking legitimate questions. How is it working for you? And as many realtors that I talk to every day, everyone's saying the same thing. It's the same. It's not bad. Everything is going just smoothly right now.
It's very good.
Which is, it can be a little bit surprising. What did you think of that New York thing I was talking about, where we already have, 350,000 people moving to Florida every year? People want to get out of New York.
I think you hit the nail on the head, to be honest, because people are on top of each other. They're, the germs, the issues. Down here, we're spread out. We have sun. We have warm weather. We're not dealing with the climate, the taxes, the state income tax. So absolutely, I definitely see a huge influx of people from up north coming down here.
Maybe I'm the biggest advocate in town when it comes to solar, basically because I've done it myself. And I know what an awesome product it is with IQ Power Solar. And I just know how it saved me on my electric bill, number one, selfishly. But I also do feel like I'm doing sort of my part for the environment. My understanding is you also have gone solar in the past.
Well, yes. So we recently sold our home in December that had solar through IQ Power. We went from a $300 power bill down to... Some months was $8, and that was just the fee. That was the fee you had to pay to FPL.
The monopoly fee?
The monopoly fee. We averaged $44 throughout the year, our highest bill in the summer months. And mind you, my husband and I like it cold. We have my father living with us, and we work from home. So electricity is on 24/7 at our home. Highest bill was $88.
Wow.
So amazing. And thanks to Steve, we in our new home are scheduled at the end of this month to have it installed as well.
Beautiful.
So we are very excited.
I don't blame you whatsoever. How do you feel like having solar if you're showing a house to a buyer and they see two houses in the same neighborhood next to each other, and one of them has an electric bill of $10 a month, the other one has a bill of $300 or $400? How do you feel like that affects the value of the home?
Oh, it definitely affects the value. We actually had our house appraised in our last one, and we had a huge uptick on the appraisal. So if I were going to recommend a home for a buyer, I would recommend the solar-powered one, just because if you can cut that electric cost, I mean, that's one fee, you've mentioned it, that you just can't cut, and solar allows you to do that.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the market over the next 2 or 3 months. I mean, we're sitting here saying everything hasn't really changed so far. Sure, I mean, maybe there's a little bit of stress level that something could change. What do you see happening? I know no crystal ball,
No.
but what do you envision happening?
I'm seeing people slowly as the state's starting to open. I'm seeing people more open to listing their homes, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But I foresee real estate kind of where we usually have our selling season starting in the end of February, March. I see it starting kind of June, July, August, really hitting hard. So we may be 3 months behind where we usually are, but I don't see us missing out. I definitely see it being there.
Stephen, back to you a little bit when it comes to solar and real estate, because clearly they work together. But I think that maybe the realtors in town, or just as a real estate community, we've been a little slow to understand how having solar can affect the value of your home. Why do you think we've been slow to adapt and understand how the real effect on value solar can have on your home?
Well, it's just like anything else. Educating a consumer in general is the most difficult thing to do. But I will tell you that I see a spiked trend in real estate agents becoming more savvy with solar, both indirectly and directly. But, it is super cool in this scenario that Andrea bought solar from us before. She sold that home, and just think about it. The second she got into her new home, she called us and she went solar again.
Yeah.
Now, it had already, gone solar. She would have paid a little more for the home, but it'd be wrapped into the mortgage as opposed to two different, finance things. So it just makes sense. And I think it's incredible the traction, but it's just straightforward. Solar does increase your home value. Anything that saves you money to the tune of $200, $300, $400 a month it's going to increase your home value. It's not really disputed.
Obviously, a lot of agents watch this program. You have real estate, so we have a pretty big following of realtors. And I think that there are probably some realtors out there who might go show a house. Or maybe they even have a homeowner who has a house with solar on it that they're not using. They don't know what it is. I don't know if that's from 1970. I don't know. I have no idea if that's usable. I mean, will IQ Power come out and sort of help us determine if this thing's still valuable? Can we reuse it? I mean, can you do that for the agents that watch the show?
Well, I've got about a half a dozen agents that I've met through the show in the past that they will text me occasionally, and they'll be like, hey, and then they'll shoot me a picture, and usually I can kind of tell them at least what it is via the picture. And if you guys just want to, if you want to reach out to me and just set up that relationship with me where I give you some advice over the phone or shoot me a text, sure. We will be doing some trainings going into the end of the third quarter, with class sizes of, 20 until there's this pandemic thing.
Sure.
Retracts a little bit, but then we'll be doing 60 to 80 at a time. So anything to educate.
And if you are a realtor and you have questions about solar, you want to become more informed about solar, or you have a client who's buying a house and it has solar on it, they don't know what to do, call Steve right now, IQ Power Solar at 407-205-0400. Or if you're a homeowner and you're sick of paying the electric bill, like we all are, you're sick of this monopoly, now is the time to go solar. It's totally free to have Steve's people come out and do a whole audit of your energy efficiency on your home. This is not just saying, oh, we'll put a solar panel here. We're going to look in the attic. We're going to really make your house energy efficient so we don't all fight over whether we're going to leave the AC at 78 or it's going to have to be at 73. Because it becomes a fight for families. Again, 407-205-0400. All right, Andrea, I want you to show me a couple of houses. Now, this first one is sort of a success story, I think, for you. And it's a house up in Lake Mary, near where I live. I know the neighborhood very well. Don't tell me you got above asking here for Grand Valley.
I did.
And how long did it take? 2 years?
It was only 48 hours and it was under contract.
Goodness.
Yes.
Tell me about this house and how the process worked. How did you get it sold so quickly and for more than the asking price?
Well, Lake Mary is a very desirable area. It is right off of Reinhardt and is about 2,100 square feet. It was a nice, beautiful starter family home. And they put it on the market. And within 48 hours of listing it, we had 3 offers and we went for over asking. It was, and again, this was in April, mind you. So when people were scared of going out and walking through and doing things, we were in and out and closed, and that new family is they upgraded to their next family home. Wow. So it's been fantastic.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
now we have one that is just on the market now, I
Just
believe.
on the market this week.
And this is Stone Oak Drive in Sanford. What part of
Correct.
Sanford is this?
So this is off of Orange Avenue, which is right behind Lake Forest. So 46 and Orange, close to shopping. Everything's near you. The Seminole Town Center Mall, the Targets, the Walmarts, everything is over there for you. It is 3,833 square feet. It is a beautiful 2-story, 5-bedroom, 4-bath home. It has a beautiful pool. It is on a pond, so you have no rear neighbors, which is fantastic. You walk in, it's a gourmet kitchen. It has an island for entertaining, extra space. It is beautiful. It's got a small little basketball court in the back.
We all need that right now.
Everybody needs one of those.
I'd increase it 50 grand right about now. Yeah, I know. Please.
So so we are on the market this week, and I'm excited to get that one under
And
contract soon.
What is the price point on this one?
We are at $594,900.
So, but if you look at the mortgage on that with the current rates, I mean, the amount you're going to pay per month, PITI, is way less than if you were to rent this house. It's
absolutely.
really kind of a no-brainer on that, and I know that area well. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I live
it's gorgeous.
really, really close to there. Awesome. If you have any questions about this house, would you like to see this house right now, I will hook you up with Andrea right now at 407-205-0400. Andrea Rickheim, Remax Automotive. A pleasure it was to have you on today.
Thanks, Justin.
You did great.
Thank you
It
so
went by
much.
pretty quickly, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
it was
hard?
great.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being
Thanks.
here. You got it. We'll see you soon. If you have any questions about anything we've discussed, or you would like to pre-qualify for one of these homes, 407-205-0400. Steve, I mean, what an awesome testament to what you guys do. That Andrea, a realtor, bought a house, had solar through IQ Power Solar, sold it, did great on it because of it, now bought a new house. What's she going to do?
She's gonna get her bill down to like $5-10 again. So,
What do you think? Any idea what her current electricity bill is at the new house she bought?
if I remember correctly, it was right around an average of like $200.
Yeah. So then her new electricity bill is going to be virtually nothing,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean,
huh?
I'm confident, in the $5 range, but we always say between $5 and $15.
Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier on the radio show we were doing together about solar pool heating.
Yeah.
Do you install those a lot as well through this process?
We don't do too many solar pool heating where they just want solar pool heating, but we do a lot of solar pool heating, especially when they have the extra roof space, and a lot of people really love the luxury of solar pool heating. Virtually every time they're currently using an electric heater, we do replace that. But solar pool heating is a luxury, and by itself, it doesn't earn the tax credit. So there's a lot of situations where people get solar and wrap that in, and they achieve the tax credit on the whole thing.
Beautiful. Vivian Lehman is here. Vivian, thanks for coming in today. How are you? You
I'm
have
very well.
realty. Now, you and I have talked about solar quite a bit together. I mean, we've over the last couple of years.
She's sick of it.
I don't think that's it at all. But we have discussed how we are coming to grips with the fact that it is impacting values of homes. What are you seeing out on the street if you sell a house that has solar versus one that doesn't have solar? When you really compare that electricity bill.
Well, I've become very educated on it, which is good. But what's really nice is I get that question all the time. What are my electric bills? And so when I'm showing a house that does have solar, I always bring that up. I say, look, this is their average because they have solar. If I were to sell this same house without it, it would be X amount of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And obviously, you know who to call if you have questions about that. Earlier, I was talking about how I don't see the market crashing. I just don't. I could be wrong. I mean, as we sit here on this Saturday together, I'm telling you, I don't think the market's going to crash real estate-wise. Vivian?
I have to agree with you. I think I kind of call it the trifecta. You've got the low rates, you've got low inventory, and the opportunity is there. Absolutely.
Do you see people moving here from other states with higher taxes, with higher property tax? The property taxes alone in New Jersey, for something that would cost you about
Outrageous.
$3,000 here, is about
Yeah.
$12,000 a year. And then you just look at the taxation in New York when it comes to state income taxes. Getting across the George Washington Bridge costs you like $20 a day. It's crazy. And now New Yorkers are literally stuck in their high rises thinking, I want to get the heck out of Dodge right now. Do you see an influx of out-of-staters heading to Florida?
I do, and I've actually seen a lot online as far as people from other states wanting to move to Florida.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are you starting to see or get calls from other people? And then I mean, why would people choose Central Florida versus South Florida? And my theory on that a little bit is South Florida is kind of New Yorkish to begin with, and I think maybe
And
some
congested.
and congested, and I
Yeah.
think they want to get out of there. And Central Florida, while we think it's congested, it's still way less congested than a New York City or a Miami-Dade County.
Absolutely. And you've got the taxes too to contend with down south.
Exactly. Now, you at one point in your life lived in Miami as well.
I did.
What convinced you and your family to head this way?
When you're on the highway and it takes about 5 minutes usually to get somewhere, and instead it takes you an hour, that's an issue.
Yeah. And you have two awesome properties to show us today as well.
do.
Let's take this living room tour of Alamosa Court.
Okay, so Alamosa, both of the properties that we have are in Apopka.
Okay.
They're going to be on the lower range. These are going to go quick. They just came on the market. So this one on Alamosa, they're asking $350. It's on half an acre. It was built in 1985. It's a little over 2,000 square feet. It is a 3-2, but they've totally redone this. It's a cream puff. It has a new roof, new flooring, cabinetry, granite counters, and the pool enclosure was totally redone too, and it has a new pool heater.
Wow. Steve wanted to know what a cream puff means.
Cream
He
puff.
kicked me under the table. He wanted me to ask.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Did you know what she meant by that? I did
Yeah,
not.
actually, my first car was a
was a
an
cream puff.
84,
Yeah, it was anything but a cream puff.
it was called a cream puff. I didn't get it back, but I get it now.
Oh, it sounds like a color or something to me. I'm not sure exactly. All right, what is the price point here?
So that one was $350.
All right, $350.
And it's on half an acre, which is nice too.
Apopka is growing, but still affordable. Is that a good description of Apopka,
Yes.
would you say?
Yeah.
Especially with Phil Deems invading Apopka too, you know?
And you're close to the not 419 or
Right.
429, is it? I always get those two mixed up.
I think Apopka is still a great city and community for someone looking for a house that's affordable, yet still close. I mean, still with the new highways and things, I think it's still close to town and not incredibly congested. But again, most important, I think affordable at
Right.
this point too.
Yeah.
And you have another one at Apopka. Tell me about this one.
One's even more affordable. This one's $205. It is 1696 Chatham Circle. It was built in 1992, 1,144 square feet. It is 3-2 also. But again, they've updated everything inside: flooring, AC, granite counters. The community itself, Chelsea Park, has a community pool, so that's accessible. And in this case, they only charge $135 per quarter on the HOA.
Wow. Unbelievable. That's
Yeah.
you can't beat that.
No, you
Honestly, now that you
can't.
think about it. I'm sorry, what was the price on that one?
205.
$205. You're looking at $1,000 a month basically
Yeah.
for your entire mortgage payment, PITI.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more, but you can't rent a studio apartment in Orlando for $1,000. You just can't do it. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I want you to realize your dream of home ownership. I'll hook you with Vivian right now, 407-205-0400. Thank you, Vivian. You're going to stick around for the Real Estate
Yes,
Roundtable,
I
I
will.
hope. And now it is time, without further ado, for your part of the program. It's time for the Real Estate Roundtable. Each week here on You Have Real Estate, we answer your questions from throughout the week. All you have to do is go to Facebook at You Have Real Estate. Ask me a question right there, and we just might read your question next week here on the TV show. All right, let's go to Lisa in Orlando. What type of interest rate and down payment do I have to get solar? Stephen Bader?
We have programs, with all solar, there's programs from 3.9 to 7.9, but the average interest rate's 4 or 5.99%. But just keep in mind, what's the interest rate on your electric bill, right? And there's no down payment on our programs, and you don't make a payment until after the solar is installed. So you're not going to have two payments at one time, 99% of the time. So it's really a no-brainer because you're paying for it anyway.
Maria in Lake Mary, how do property taxes in Florida compare to the rest of the United States?
I think we just talked about that. I'd say compared to New York, we're at about a quarter, maybe less. Compared to Miami, like we talked about, we're probably half of what they do.
Yeah, I think Florida's right in the middle. I think we're like number 25 when it comes to property taxes, but you have to keep in mind we also have no state income tax. So some of the states that have less property taxes also do have a state income tax. So you got to average it out when you really look at it. I think tax-wise, Florida is a tax haven, to be honest with you. I think it's a great place. I'm really bullish on the real estate market here in Florida. All right, Susan in Winter Springs, will solar soon be required to have, and do you think the cost will increase?
It's a tough question, but there are already places where solar is required. For instance, since 2008, solar hot water has been required in Hawaii and in California. On 10-story buildings or higher, solar is required, and all kinds of corridors. It's close to home as Miami. Solar is required. So yeah, I think it's just borderline negligent at this point to keep installing dinosaur electronics and systems, knowing that they're inefficient, with massive track records in research and development to indicate better paths. It's definitely increasing, because you got to think about the value of solar is what it saves you. And as long as the power rates are going to increase, the value of solar is going to increase.
Totally agree. Andrea Rickheim, thank you for joining us from Remax Optima. Vivian Lehman, you have Realty. Thanks for being here. And Stephen Bader, IQ Power Solar. Look, do yourself a favor. Get rid of that electricity bill. Get yourself the tax credit. And let's use clean energy together. Stephen Bader will take your call right now, 407-205-0400 for a zero money down way to get your electricity bill down to virtually zero. Thank you for being here, Steve. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
But most importantly, thank you for joining us here today. If you're looking to sell your home and you want to feature it on this program, give me a call. We'd be happy to do that for you. If you want to get pre-approved to buy a house, Dallas Lehman is also standing by at that very same phone number. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and I'll see you back here next week for You Have Real Estate.
You Have Real Estate with attorney Justin Clark is sponsored by Margaritaville Cottages, Orlando.
Live here on site with the COO of IQ Power Solar, Stephen Bader. I already had solar installed on my house. I wanted to see his crew in action against Steve. You must admit, this is the most talented crew in all of solar.
I'm pretty happy with it.
The guys are doing a great job up there, obviously, professional. Solar can have some people and some businesses that aren't so good. What separates IQ Power Solar?
Well, it's really valuable to have your own install crew instead of subcontractors, et cetera. So these guys work together year after year. They've done a lot of trainings together. Every time there's a new product that comes to market, they go to manufacturer trainings. We're actually a warranty center for a lot of manufacturers, which is really cool, and it distinguishes us, especially when it comes to servicing. But really, it's just about cohesiveness. These guys, they get here in the morning, they review the engineer drawings together. Sometimes they review the drawings in the office on a chalkboard environment when there's problems and stuff like that. But they lay it out and then just execute. So it's really cool when they have a lot of experience together, just like anything else.
There's something to be said for one truck, two trucks, three trucks, all with the logo on there. Everyone has the same shirt, IQ Power Solar. This is a real professional organization.
We try.
And Stephen Bader, IQ Power Solar. Thanks for coming out today.
Of course.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. I love spending my Saturdays here with you on You Have Real Estate, but did you know you could listen to us every single weekday, Monday through Friday on Florida Man Radio Network, 105.5 FM, 660 AM. Love seeing you on TV. Can't wait to talk to you on the radio.